Politics can be tricky, especially when it comes to international relations. I mean, how can two very different countries come together for good? Well, the answer, clearly, is video games. Right? Back in the era of the Soviet Union and the Famicom, Japan was trying to improve relations with the Soviet Union. See, they had some hostile interactions in the past. So what better way to repair that than create a game featuring the president of the Soviet Union, Mikhail Gorbachev. Yes, this is a thing that happened. In April of 1991, Gorby no Pipeline Daisakusen was released for the good old family computer. This puzzle game, developed by the Puyo Puyo creators, Compile, essentially translates to Gorby's Pipeline, Great Military Operation. Your goal? To create a water pipeline from Tokyo to Moscow to strengthen Japan-Soviet Union relations. Wow. Compile did not make it very subtle, did they? But really, it was all about that delicious oil the Soviet Union had. Though crude oil rushing through pipes was probably not as appealing to look at on the Famicom, so they went with water. They even went as far as to create this super cute mascot version of Gorbachev. Forehead, birthmark, and all. Let's just see how Gorby looks in 8-bit. Not looking too bad there, Gorby. I can feel those relations smoothing out already. Even the manual states that Japan and the Soviet Union are deepening their friendship thanks to Gorbachev. We should really be thanking Masato Wakabayashi for the game idea. I mean, come on, the intro screen does. When starting the game, you can choose from 4 levels, but if you want the high score, you better start from the beginning and work your way up. Let the speed increase naturally as you lay some pipe. A small girl in traditional Russian garb will kick out one of the 11 kinds of pipe, each with 2 sections. As they fall to the ground, they can be rotated clockwise or counterclockwise with the A and B buttons. Using these pipes, you'll need to create a pathway for the water to flow in from the right and flow out to the left. When you make a successful pipeline, you'll earn a buttload of points. The unused piping underneath your completed pipeline will be turned into these blue watery squares, which can be removed for a bunch more points with your next finished pipeline. To me, Gorby no Pipeline is sort of a combination of Pipe Dream and Tetris. And that's not a bad combination. It makes for a really fun puzzle game. Though I'm noticing a distinct lack of Gorby. He never actually appears in the game outside of that title screen. Pretty odd. If you really want to play as Gorbachev, there was actually one other game released featuring him. Ganbare Gorby. Yeah, not Ganbare Goemon, Ganbare Gorby. And this was a Japanese Game Gear game. You control Gorbachev after he busts through Russian soldiers to enter factories where he manipulates conveyor belts to provide food, supplies, and even Sega Game Gears to the poor. Oh, bless you, Mikhail Gorbachev. You saint. Alright, back to the Famicom. Continuing with the Tetris parallels, you can drop pipe sections quickly by pressing down on the D-pad. If your pipeline starts to get out of whack and the unused sections pile up to the top, it's game over. I saw a lot of game overs in my initial attempts. You really have to plan ahead with each piece of pipe, and it's very rare that you're going to get the section you want when you need it. You have to change up your pipeline path on the fly. Unlike Tetris or Pipe Dream, you aren't focused on blocks of lines or one flowing pathway. Things get messy-jessy quick, no matter how perfect your placement is. Mastering quick rotations and separations of pipe segments as they drop will help you complete the pipeline from Tokyo to Moscow. See, as a pipe segment falls, it can be broken into two if it lands on a higher edge, and you can continue to rotate that single section as it descends. Though you may not want a perfect run, because your mistakes can often lead to a lot of extra bonus points. The unused pipes that are underneath your finished pipeline contribute heavily to your score. Oh, and you know, Dav has got to have the high score. Besides, you get a cool little rocket when you bust out the big points. And to pull it off, it's definitely going to take some quick reflexes, but you do have a couple bonus items to help things along. The water bottle can be dropped on an open pipe to create blue blocks at the bottom of the stage for extra points. Water drops will produce a completed pipeline to help you move on to the next stage, and drills can be used to destroy pipe pieces. Just be careful not to wreck a nearly completed pipeline. As you make your way through the main 9 stages of the game, the speed increases and the number of connections for your flow will decrease. But as you learn to make the best of your pipe placements, you'll be completing this great military operation in no time. And your reward? Some kind of fancy fireworks, and the chance to continue on in the game for an even higher score. And as with most puzzle games, you're going to need some music to guide you through as you earn those points. Gorby No Pipeline features a number of Russian tracks in the 8-bit style. Gorby No Pipeline Daisakusen is a surprisingly fun and challenging little puzzle game for the Famicom. And it even comes with a little bit of history. And here's just a bit more. Just months after the release of this game, members of the Soviet Union attempted to take control from President Gorbachev. The coup was considered a failure, but ultimately led to the dissolution of the Soviet Union and the end of Gorby's leadership. A shame. The dream of Gorby No Pipeline 2 was torn down. Much like that wall.
Mr. Gorbachev, tear down this wall.
I guess that's why we never got a sequel to Gorby No Pipeline, and honestly, that's okay. We could have ended up with another Tetris 2. I mean, come on, Tetris 2 is not even Tetris anymore. What is going on? And I never want little old Gorby to ever change.